adrenal glands, right? And now we will do ovaries and testes. This one. So women's ovaries and men's testes produce our sex hormones, and estrogen per women and testosterone per man. Maybe you heard these two main hormones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Research shows that levels of these hormones in men and women may partially explain gender differences demonstrated in certain experiments and situations. So later, like developmental psychology, we will explain and we will learn more about the examples of these differences. And nextly, let's look at genetics. And besides the functioning of the brain and nervous system, another biological factor that affects human thought and behavior is genetics. Like most human traits, like body shape, introversion, or temper, and they all result from the combined effect of nature or our genetic code and nurture, the environment where we grow up and live. So, psychological researchers attempt to determine how much nature and nurture contribute to human traits. So, there are some basic genetic concepts. So every human cell contains 36 chromosomes in 23 pairs. Yeah, so all humans look like have these ones. And the genetic material they make up chromosome is DNA. Maybe you heard DNA, right?
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard of that.
deoxyribonucleic acid. This is the abbreviation of this long word. Certain segments of DNA control the production of specific protein that control some human traits. These three segments are called genes. Genes can be dominant or recessive. If we inherit two recessive genes for a particular trait, that trait will be expressed. In any other combination of genes, the dominant trait is expressed. Psychological researchers investigate how different combination of genes create tendencies for physical and behavior traits. So there are some very famous example. It is about twin case. Yeah. Since identical twins, so-called monozygotic twins, since they develop from the one fertilized egg called the zygote, share all the same genetic material. Researchers study them in order to examine the influence of genes on human traits. In one famous study, Thomas found more than 100 identical twins who were given up for adoption and raised in different families. The study compare hundreds of traits and conclude about the relative influences of genetics and the environment on specific traits. For example, the study found a correlation coefficients of 0.69 on the IQ test for identical twins raised apart and of 0.88 for identical twins living together. So it means like if it is close to the 1, there's more similarity. So like 0.88 for identical twins living together. So it is like influenced by nature and nurture. This shows that the environmental has some effect on IQ score, since twins raised in the same family have more similar IQs. However, the IQs of twins raised apart are still highly correlated, demonstrating that IQ is also heavily influenced by genetics. The twin studies like this one have been criticized in one important way, however. Even twins raised in separate families obviously share very similar physical appearance. This physical similarity may cause others to treat them in similar ways, creating the same effective psychological environment for both twins. This similarity in environment might explain the high correlation. Yeah. And next one is this one. Chromosomal abnormalities. Our gender is determined by our 23rd pair of chromosomes. 23rd. Men have an X and Y chromosome, and women have two X chromosomes. These are what makes men and men, women and women. So this is the difference between two genders. Usually a man will contribute either an X chromosome to a child or a Y. Occasionally, chromosomes will combine in an unusual way, resulting in a chromosomal abnormality. For example, babies with Turner syndrome are born with only a single chromosome in the spot usually occupied by the 23rd pair. Turner syndrome causes some physical characteristics like shortness, webbed necks, and differences in physical sexual development. Babies born with Klinefelter syndrome have an extra X chromosome, resulting in an XXY pattern. The effect of this syndrome vary widely, but it usually causes minimal sexual development and personality traits like extreme extroversion. Other chromosomal abnormalities may cause mental retardation. The most common type is Down syndrome. Maybe you've heard this one, Down syndrome.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
Yeah, this is very popular. Babies with Down syndrome are born with an extra chromosome on the 21st pair. Some physical characteristics are indicative of Down syndrome. They just rounded face and shorter fingers and toes and slanted eyes set far apart and some degrees of mental retardation. This is a characteristic.
Mm.
So let's have some break time for 5 minutes, okay?
Mhm, okay.
So I will call you again after 5 minutes.